Our good team, we have trades now. So this video becomes a little bit more important given we are focusing on the next 3 rounds there. And you see I've color coordinated the next 3 and haven't sorted out from there. But I will be looking at the next 3 and obviously the rest of the season as well, because we've got our rest risk that I went through last week. That doesn't change too much for me in just the 1 week, but the Rabbitohs one might be a little bit more with Damien Cook. But outside of that, everything I think sticks for this week, and we will adjust that week to week based on where teams are in the ladder and how they're trekking along. I've changed the best buyers list in terms of teams, and let's go one by one through these teams. And there's so many options this week in terms of guys that you can purchase at a cheaper level at 450k and below in that mid-range. Guys like Randall, you've got guys like Murray who are very cheap. These types of guys in that mid-range that could do great. And then all the top tier guys are likely to be available, with a few potentially resting this week after Origin. But we'll find all that out this afternoon with team lists, and then obviously following Origin as well. And I can't wait for that tomorrow night. See how we're doing tomorrow. Might be able to drop in with a little Origin preview video. Just listening to a few other podcasts at the moment, so I'll try and come in with my own perspective on what I might see happening, or what I want to see happening for both teams there for them to win. We'll see how that one rolls out. But the Tigers, to kick things off, they still have that buy remaining, and it's very hard to purchase anyone in a Tigers uniform right now. So we'll say that they are not on the best buys list, and they've got the Rabbitohs away, the Warriors away as well, and then Cowboys at home. So it's not the hardest of draws, but also some teams that are in somewhat decent form and winning games, especially the Wars. They're a bit hot and cold, similar to that with the Cows, but they are winning games and they are putting teams to the sword when they get an opportunity. And the Tigers now, we do now know that Appy, very, very minor calf strain. So definitely out this week, likely probably one more. So 1 to 2 weeks out for Appy. In fantasy, you could sell and go to like a Reed Marnie or something like that. In Supercoach, myself, I'm tempted just to hold on for the couple of weeks, and hopefully when he does return, say against the Cowboys, the Knights, Bunnies in round 24, crazy they play him in round 20 and 24, and then the Eagles in round 25, Eels to finish things off in round 27. He should be able to help us out and do a decent job. So that's probably the only thoughts on Tigers. Hold Galvin, hold Fainu. Look at maybe Bateman. That's probably the only guy you might want to look at. Stefano, you can do what you please with him there. I think they seem to be playing heavily through the middle, the Bunnies, so I think that he should be able to get some good runs, good tackles in that game as well. So Titans next. I've got them at number 5. I've named 6 teams I think are on the good purchases list. They still have a fairly solid sort of draw here. Eagles are letting in some tries. Dolphins definitely are. Titans are playing well at the moment, so that helps. And then the Broncos, Sharks, Dragons before the Roosters. So it's like a pretty even standard draw, to be fair. And you've got a few guys like Fafita, like Campbell, or Kinney if he was there, but both are more. These kind of guys doing good things for the Titans, and Chris Randall. So there's definitely a bunch of options there, and I have them as a pretty solid purchase here without really being able to dominate the teams that they're going to come up against. I think it'll be sort of in the game and close, which will be good for some, not as good for others. Like Campbell to get sort of 3 try assists in the last 2 games, 6 of them, and a try. I don't think that'll happen against some of the better teams, but still a really solid purchase. The Dolphins there, they have the Panthers, the Titans, and the Roosters, so a pretty tough little stretch, especially with Titans playing well. Panthers with Cleary coming back, and the Roosters at home there. It's going to be a pretty tough one there as well. So I'm not saying that any Dolphins are a purchase at this point. My little worry here is, how many of these Panthers guys play, and Fuller, does he actually get a game? And if he does, then he's still coming up against the Panthers, and we know it's tough for fullbacks to score well, apart from that one game that Turbo did well there. So that's my small worry. If you got Plath, hopefully it's a lot of tackles this week, and they do like playing through the middle. Guys back on the inside, back rowers coming through into the middle, feeding them in there and really tiring them out. So I do think Plath will make a lot of tackles there, but not a team I'd be targeting from here. For the Storm, they have finished their buys as well, which is good now, but they come up against Roosters, Eels, and then the Dragons. So a tough one this week, and then a couple of easier ones for them, which they should be able to score some good tries. Jerome Hughes, Wishart, these types of guys. I'm a little bit worried about Blory this week, so I'm a try and loop him. Let's just say that. But the Storm, they do have Panthers in round 24. They got the Broncos in round 27. Wonder how important that one's going to be for the Bronx, and if Storm are going to be fighting for the top 4 at all there. So not a team that's like a clear standout purchase. Obviously, this week against the Roosters, I think following that in round 21, they could be more of a target there. But this week, just hold your guys, I think, that you've got. For the Sharkies, they're going to buy this week, but then into Cowboys, Rabbitohs, Titans, Knights, Dragons. So still a really solid run, as we know, for them into Warriors and Eagles to finish the year. So guys like Britton Nikora, these types of players, are going to be a solid little purchase. People might look at Trindle in round 21 as well. So hold on to your hats with your Sharks guys for now, and then work it out from there. The team now that's got the best little schedule, in my opinion, is that of the Panthers. So obviously Cleary's coming into as a target for people. Dylan Edwards could potentially be a target. Isaiah Yeo, Scott Sorensen, Brian To'o. These types of guys are all people we might be looking at. Isaac Tungo as well. So yeah, plenty of guys to look at. If I've forgotten anyone, spare me. But should be right there. They're the biggest target. They've got Dolphins who leak in points. Dragons, they should be able to smash. Knights, they should be able to smash as well. So, and then Eels again. So pretty nice run for the Panthers. And with so many targets available, I've got them number one as the best buys list. The only risk here is when do they rest some of their top stars. But that doesn't mean all of them are going to get rested, right? Guys like Isaac Tungo could play the rest of the year, but we're still worried about how that's going to look. Although he does, he comes up against Herbie as well. So there's some missed tackles likely in that scenario there. Potentially for Cleary too. We'll see how that one plays out. For the Bunnies, I've got their number 2 on the best buys just because they got a really nice 3-game stretch. So they've got the Tigers into the Raiders. Really nice 2 games there. Anyone who's playing the Tigers at the moment, you're a chance of going nuts. And I've got the Warriors on that list that play them next week as well as a potential good little target, but less players to push for. But the Bunnies there, you've still got Whiten. You've still got, Johnston people might want to go for now. You've got Colin Matangi. You've got Cam Murray. A lot of guys to target here for the Bunnies. They could do a really good job there for you. So there you go. With that little run, I think they're good. Doggies are next on the list. And they're number 3 on the list. So Cowboys away, Broncos away. Could be a little bit tougher. But Raiders at home, into Dragons away, Dolphins at home, and Warriors away. Into Seagulls and Cowboys. It's not a very tough run. It's pretty, run-of-the-mill there. And they've got a team that's doing really well. Defensively, obviously, there's guys like Jacob Preston that are coming back this week that will go straight into the 80-minute role or close to it with Jamin Salmon being out there. Max King's gone. So guys like Bailey Hayward, if you've got Sam Hughes, Josh Curran, all these type of guys could do really, really well in this stretch of games. Matt Burton could be someone you want to target. So there's plenty of options for the Doggies, and I think that they're 3rd on the list for best buys there. For the Eels, they've got a bye this week. Then they've got Storm and Warriors into Panthers. So not a team, and they're a team that's struggling, so they're not someone I'd be looking to target. If you do own a few of their players, completely fine to hold if you want to sell them with that run coming up of, as I said, Storm, Warriors, Panthers, Roosters, Broncos, and then a couple of easier ones to finish. But that's a long way away. Then you can sell those guys for sure if you want. For the Raiders, they have Warriors into the Bunnies, into the Dogs, Seagulls, Cowboys. So not a terrible run, pretty even for them. Jamal Fogarty is the guy that returns. Outside of that, there's not too many you want to buy. There's a few you might want to sell or just hold on to for this little run. Against the Warriors, guys like K Weeks might still be able to do okay. Again, try to look to do some looping. When I say looping, guys, even if they play later in the week, they could be a guy that, if this person doesn't do well early in the week that I'm looping, then I do play a KO Weeks or something like that. Just see how things play out. If you're in a situation where you have like 12 before trades or 13 before trades and you're making 4 to get to 17, then looping does not matter. But I personally, this is the first week in, 5-6 weeks. Longer, let's just say, probably since round 12. No, round 12 I had 3 nights out. Maybe around 11 since I've been able to actually field more than 17 without trades, unless I've got people not backing up from Origin and Fuller's not playing, all these kind of things. If things kind of go semi all right, it's the first time my team's been available to have more than 17 on the park. So you might not be in that situation this week, but you were in other weeks when I wasn't. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a thought on that with the Raiders. Dragons are next. They missed this week, but then Panthers, Storm, Bulldogs are a really tough 3-game stretch. Don't look to purchase any Dragons. Only look to be holding sort of middles, in my opinion, for them there. Knights, they're not on the buy list either anymore. So Broncos now this week. It should be a tough one given Broncos really need a win. Knights do as well, so it'll be a fun contest. But yeah, the Broncos will be ready and firing. They obviously played really well against the Panthers 2 weeks ago, and they were very poor on the weekend. But then they got the bye, and then they've got Panthers. So while the Broncos might not be the hardest game right now, this little stretch of 3 where they have that bye in the middle makes them a team not to target or potentially not to hold on to guys with, because then it gets easier after that. Tigers, Sharks, Bunnies, Titans, Dolphins for sure. But you got to get to that point with the Knights there. For the Broncos, they've got the 4th best in my opinion. Now they've got through that second to last bye. They're a team that's absolutely desperate to get wins on the board. So with this next little run of Knights, Dogs, Titans, Cowboys, yes, 3 games away, but then they go into Eels, Dolphins, and then Storm, who might rest some players. There's definitely some games there where you can target, obviously, the likes of Payne Haas. You might get Adam Reynolds back, I think, in the next 3 weeks or something like that. He could be an interesting one post their buy in round 24 for a 3-week play. They've got some outside backs who are very hit and miss in Tony Staggs. You've got Jesse Arthurs, who's very cheap. You've got Reece Walsh, who could be an option as well. So definitely enough guys that you could look at if you wanted to make a play on the Broncos needing to dominate in these last 8 weeks. Eagles haven't got them as a target anymore. They were a few weeks ago, in the last couple of weeks anyway. But into the Titans now, the Roosters away is going to be tough. Into a bye, and then it gets easier from there. Raiders, Warriors, Tigers, Dogs, and Sharkies. The last 2 could be fairly hard, but a couple of nice ones in there with Raiders, Warriors, Tigers, although Raiders might get a little bit harder with Jamal Fogarty at the helm there and on his return, which will be good. So Eagles, hold team kind of thing. You've probably got a Garrick and Olakwatu, maybe a Lehigh Hopewadi, something like that. You might be targeting your DCE, but is he the guy? I'm not sure. Backing up against the Titans, he should do well. Roosters could be hard, so it's a tough one. Warriors next, they have the 6th best in my opinion. Raiders, Tigers, Eels, so a very nice stretch of games really, all the way through until this Dogs clash and then Sharkies away. But then they have a bye to finish. So that obviously is the kicker that hurts a little bit. But over the next 3 weeks, they're definitely a team you could be targeting. But who would you target? That's the main question. You've got Tomato Martin and Chanel Harris-DeVito, who are both a bit too expensive now, in my opinion. You've got Barnett, who's a clear target. I actually just found out as well that Tohu Harris has actually had the wrist surgery. And unfortunately, he's out for the season now. So that does leave some space for guys like Dylan Walker as well to play 80 minutes and score pretty well through the middle. So have a look at someone like him as a potential option. Jackson Ford's a bit of an awkward one at the moment. Outside backs. Roger. Tane Tuapiki. He's going to play for a month as well. At the back, most likely. We'll see what happens in team list this afternoon. But yeah, there's a few options. Not that any of them are terrific by any stretch. All right, Roosters and Cowboys to finish. The Roosters, they have the Storm away, which will be a fun one for sure. Eagles at home, Dolphins away over the next 3, but then they've got a bye, obviously. Eels, Titans, Raiders, Rabbitohs have some rest risk as well, but there's a lot of players you might want to target in Crichton, in Watson, Manu when he comes back, Teddy you might need in your side. Daniel Tupou's been interesting at the moment. Right edge, you've got Butcher, potentially you want Dom Young in Supercoach or Fantasy there. A lot of different guys you can target. And this is a tougher week for them, but I think anyone who's going down that left-hand side, Crichton, these types of guys could absolutely have a field day down the Storm's right-hand edge defense. So, yeah, expect those guys to do some good things there out there. And then Cowboys, Dogs, Sharks, Tigers, before they go Broncos, Raiders into a bye. So they still have the one left. These next few games won't be easy for them. They'll have the Tigers in round 22. So that's where you could maybe target a couple of Cowboys. If you're holding on to Cotter, sweet. If you're holding on to Drinkwater, sweet. I don't know if there's anyone else you'd come out and purchase, like Val Holmes and all that. We also don't know who's going to back up this week, and they've got a lot of Origin guys. So, yeah, just wait and see. Obviously, 4-team list. Wait and see how things go in Origin before you really push making your trades this week. I think we're going to keep it at that. We have, 4 days now until the next game of NRL. I said Origin tomorrow. I'll see what I can conjure up for a little bit of analysis on that Origin game. But thanks so much for being here as always, guys, and good luck to you all. Everyone's got 8+ trades to go. It's exciting. At least for the next few weeks, we've got trades, minimum 2 weeks of trades, and we'll see how things shake up and see where you end up in those rankings over the next few weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's so many options. I've got like 20 on my list that I could buy probably. So yeah, it's we're going to have a lot of different teams, I think. There's guys in the cheaper range you can buy, Cheekams, Starlings, all these types of guys. You can go mid-range, you can go right up top. We all have a decent amount of funds available due to the types of players that have got injured in Hines and Aitken and Latrell and these types of guys. So it's going to be fun over the next few weeks, and I wish you guys all the best of luck.